Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, yes, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do the countdown, episode number 103, live. That's right, fans. Now, this is really more of a test show than anything to see if I can do this live or if I get an audience live that maybe I can get some guest interaction through my countdown. I know this is in the middle of the afternoon, and this is usually when I set the countdown. But I figure if I get even one or two people talking about comics on here, then that's a plus because this is usually when I shoot the countdown, which is in the afternoon. So you can look at this as kind of like that afternoon, live show or whatnot that you don't usually see too often on YouTube. Most of the time, all these shows take place at night because that's when everyone is home. But most of you guys are probably working and doing all kinds of other crap right now besides looking at me, and you'll watch this video later on. So regardless, you're going to get your great countdown. If I get some people on here asking some questions or making comments, that's just an added bonus. So I'm totally excited to do this. This is something that I kind of wanted to do because I've never really had my own live show. I've always done my own videos. So I kind of wanted to make this heading into a live show. Now that I just got my new computer, I feel that this computer can kind of held up to the standard of it without conking out. So with that being said, let's get started with this week's countdown. And this week's countdown features 17 comics. There's a couple comics I still haven't read yet, which is the Superman Batman issue. I have not read Chrononauts, the final issue. That's a double-sized issue. And I also haven't read this book right here, which is Captain Marvel in Carol Corps or whatever it is. I haven't had a chance to read that, but since there's been so many comics that have been coming out lately, it's been kind of crazy. It's been really busy, and it's hard to read every single comic when you've got work and everything else going on. So with that being said, let's get started with this week's countdown, shall we? So we go on to number 17. And number 17 was Marvel's 1602. Yeah, this was called The Witch Hunter Angela Part 1. You know what? I was reading this book and this thing was going completely over my head. I was like, what's going on in this issue? Angela is fighting these witch people. I don't even know. That's in charge. Who's in charge of the whole thing is Enchantress. Takes place in the 1600s. The artwork is really weird this way. I'm not a fan of it. I was just like, wow, what am I reading? It was like the False King was like a Wolverine type of character or whatnot. And again, the art was kind of all over the place. I mean, by far, this was the worst Secret Wars book that I enjoyed. I was just like, wow. I was pretty much like skimming through this book. So I wasn't a fan of it. The best thing about this was Enchantress in this world. This is the way she looks. And she's the one that's in charge of everything, of what's going on. But I could not get a story out of this whatsoever. I was just like, wow, this is really boring for me. I really didn't enjoy it. If this is a Secret Wars book that you should leave out, I want to say it's this 1602 book. This is nothing that I feel that you guys should really read, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about that one. All right, so 1602 probably gets like 2 stars for me. Next, we go on to number 16, and number 16 was Weird World issue number 1. Same type of concept. It's like this barbaric person that is going out through Weird World and is trying to find his own kingdom. Now, this book was a little bit more interesting. The artwork here was definitely weird. It's like an airbrushed painting style type of artwork. This may not be for you, but when I look at the actual, when I look at the world, I was like, oh, that was interesting. But you found this guy who was trying to go and find his kingdom, and he comes across all these crazy like creatures. He finds this map, and it's just like, oh my god, like what's going on? And he's trying to find his way back again to his kingdom, which is called Palamak. I don't know. polemic. It was just weird. And he comes across this dragon, and he takes hold of this dragon, and he covers ground, and he tries to follow this thing. It was just really odd. I really didn't like it at all. I mean, it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, this is okay, but then it was weird, and the dragon eats this pufferfish type of creature, and he comes across this Planet of the Apes guys. So I guess when I look at these types of books, I was just kind of turned off by them. I mean, it was okay for me. It was like 2.5, almost 3-star book. I really didn't get that much enjoyment out of it. When you look at issues that really impact you, you look for books that are memorable. And this, for me, it was okay, but it wasn't memorable. It wasn't like a standout book, So I gotta give it 2.75 out of 5 stars. So it was okay for me. All right. Next, we're going to go on to number 15. And number 15 was Battle Worlds and Humans, Attilian Rising. This one was pretty interesting because you have the rebels here, and you get to see all the different versions of Black Bolt, and you get to see you end up getting to see a different version of Tony Stark and whatnot. And we wound up seeing that these rebels have to be stopped, would consist of Black Bolt and some of these other weird creatures. The artwork is pretty good in this issue. I thought this one was okay. This is another one of these books that is just like way over my head in certain aspects of it. The cool thing is you get to see Kamala Khan in this issue, maybe just another version that you may have never seen her before. And I thought that was interesting. And she plays, again, as a spy trying to find out all the information of what these rebels are trying to do. And you get to see her use her stretchy powers in the book again. So you get to see her on that page right there. I thought that was all right. There was pretty good action within this book. Good facial expressions in here. But nothing, again, that really stood out and said, wow, this was awesome. Just a lot of dialogue. We get to see Black Bolt. He's on the run. Medusa's going through this time portal to try to stop him because they did get the intel from Miss Marvel to try to stop him. And at the end of it, you wind up seeing the intruders trying to go stop Black Bolt and all those rebel guys. So again, it was okay. I'm going to give this one 3 out of 5. With all these books, again, something has to really stand out, make me laugh, and really go, oh yeah, this is a great book. So Inhumans issue number 2 was okay. I'm going to give this one 3 out of 5. All right, next we're going to go on to let's see, we're on 17, 16, 15. We're going to go on to number 14, and number 14 was SpiderVerse issue number 2. That's right, guys. SpiderVerse issue 2 was that type of book where it didn't impress me the way it should. I don't know if it's the fact being that it's a book where I just got done reading a whole bunch of spiders in SpiderVerse, spider people, and I'm not intrigued by this whatsoever. So I was just kind of like, okay, well, this is all right. This is okay for me. In this issue, we wind up seeing Peter Porker in here, or Spider-Ham. He gets rescued by Gwen Stacy, or Spider-Gwen, in this issue. And what happens here is that he wakes up. And Gwen has to make a decision in this issue. Should I go after Norman Osborn and find out what's going on? Do I rescue Spider-Ham? So throughout this issue, you wind up seeing Gwen interact with Spider-Ham, which has mostly been like, she's been kind of like this, he's been kind of the sidekick lately. So it was kind of weird. And then you winding up coming across all the other spiders that are in this issue, which is the Indian Spider-Man. And then you wind up finding out that all these Spider-Men have been connected through their web and whatnot. And all of a sudden you get Tombstone and Carnage in the issue. It's kind of like, what are they doing there? They just kind of show up at anywhere, and I just felt like the plot just had a lot of holes in it. Really didn't make sense. Spider-Man Noir comes in, and he starts saving the day, and he starts going to town against Tombstone and Carnage, and I was like, okay, and Spider-Ham's biting people, and they easily took on Carnage and Tombstone and whatnot, and it was just like the artwork was okay. It didn't impact me. There was nothing here that was like, wow, this was really good. The only thing that got me was at the end when they defeated Carnage and Spider-Man Noir. You wind up coming across the Sinister Six, and that was the only thing that grabbed me and said, you know what? Now I got to pick up the next issue because you got the Sinister Six in there. You got Sandman, Electro, Scorpion, Dr. Octopus, and Vulture. But there was no real story here that drew me. The last issue was more about Spider-Gwen, and I found that more interesting. This time around, it had to do with the other ones, the other spiders. And to me, it was just like, oh, we're all together because we're all connected into a web, and I know what's going on. I just felt that this one just didn't do it for me. And same thing, I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. It's just average book for me. All right, so let me see if I do have any comments on here. Hopefully I can find something. Just give me a minute. Again, this video is more of a test countdown than anything, so I can interact with you guys. So just give me a minute here. All right, so let's see. Just get the comments up. So right now I have 2 comments, and we have Spidey Sense. He says, just got here just in time. And so welcome Spidey Sense for watching the show. Might be the only one on here right now, but that's just the start. So thank you for watching. Again, this is the first episode of this. I will tweak it and try to get this a little bit more fine-tuned as time goes along. Again, please put your comments below, and it'll be greatly appreciated. All right, so next we have on the countdown is Inferno, issue number 2. That's right, guys. This one is number 13 on the list. Or is it 17, 16, 15, 14? Yep, 13 on the list. And yeah, issue 2. Last issue I kind of really enjoyed Inferno, where it had to do with Cyclops going after his sister Ileana, and in this issue, it got kind of weird for me because I was interested to see where this story is going to go. And again, a lot of these books, these lower books, have to deal with books that are not in my element when it comes to barbaric and goblins and things like that. And in this issue, you get to see the Goblin Queen, which is Jean Grey's clone or sister or whatever it is. Her, I guess, plan is to get rid of Ileana from the throne. So she's teaming up with Colossus in order to actually complete that. So throughout the issue, you get to see him take possession of the Soul Sword, which was pretty awesome. I thought that was pretty cool in the issue. The artwork was okay. The colors are really nice in here. But again, it was just a lot of things that I really didn't care about when it comes to like this horde and them and him beating up on these goblins. We get to see Ileana in her like demon form. She takes the soul out of Nightcrawler in this issue, and then what happens is evil Jean Grey and Colossus wound up teaming up in this book, and he finds out that he's going to need some help to defeat her and to get her back. And again, by the end, it was just one of those things where he comes face to face with her, and Nightcrawler is now a demon. So Again, it's one of these issues where you have to read it to really kind of understand it. I didn't care for it either this time around. Again, all the introductory issues had good intros to them. Now it was a matter of them carrying the story forward, and I don't know. This one was, again, okay. It was nothing that was like groundbreaking or really said, okay, now I got to really get down to it in issue number 3. As last time, this was in my top 5. This time it's down bottom of the list, towards the bottom of the list. And now, so again, 3 stars. Nothing here that's sitting there going out there and going, holy crap, I really have to buy this issue. This is awesome stuff. All right, so let me see if I got any more comments real quick before they come up. So I have 3 comments here. And this one here is another one from Spidey Sense, and he goes, I've heard 1602 went over everyone's head. Glad I didn't pick it up. Okay, it makes me feel stupid sometimes when I don't get a comic, but in a lot of these books, dealing with a world that you're not used to, you really got to really pay attention to these issues. And it's just frustrating when you don't get it, but it's very easy, again, to get lost because you're dealing with an alternate world that you're not used to reading. So 1602 was just like, I agree, it went over your head. It was insane. The next one's from Tim Martin. He says, what's up? And I say, what's up back? And thanks for watching this early countdown show. I appreciate you guys. Again, please continue with the comments if you can. That would be great. And thank you for watching. All right, so now we're going to go on. We're going to go on, and I'll look at these comments after every issue, okay? The next one is, I think we're at number 12, and this is Deadpool and the Howling Commandos. If you're a fan of Deadpool, I think you're going to like this issue. This time, Jerry Duggan is the writer on here. He wrote the regular Deadpool series, which I thought was interesting. If you're familiar with the Howling Commandos, they were actually recently on an episode of Ultimate Spider-Man, and I thought that was pretty neat. You got the mummy and everything. In this issue, it's just funny because it says "Rest in Peace, Wade Wilson" in there, aka Deadpool. I thought it's awesome. And you get to see him have the fight against Dracula, and he winds up dying, and his head is sliced off. And I thought the artwork in here was really well done, and it's the same artist, I'm assuming, that's in the regular Deadpool series, and it's great artwork. And yes, Salva Espen, and Deadpool is dead. He's physically dead, and he's telling the story here. And it's really cool because you get to see the beginning of this issue where you get to see the Invisible Man. And the Invisible Man's just like, no, please don't kill me. And he's like the traitor. And you get all the other Howling Commandos in here. And you get to see the werewolf, and you get to see Swamp Thing and the mummy, and you get to see Frankenstein. And it does a good job of introducing the characters, which is okay. And then you got this Marcus the Minotaur. He has a symbiote on him. I'm like, dude, what is that guy? You know, I'm like, who is that? You know, so then you get to see him kill the actual Invisible Man here. So I thought that was kind of funny. Really interesting stuff on there. And then you get to see the whole plot take place, and you get to see Deadpool's wife. She wants to find out what's going on with this particular staff that she found, and she turns all the Howling Commandos into stone with Medusa's head, and it was cool. But her mission is to find out this staff, and she wants to go on this mission and find the other piece of it. And she found the map and whatnot. And then what happens is she tricks Dracula and says, I got to go. She's like, I got to bury my brothers. It's a tradition that we have to have. And Dracula grants her 7 days to go. And as she goes, you know, Dracula is kind of on to her. He's like, Howling Commandos, you need to follow her and make sure she doesn't come back. So he wants her dead. And by the time you get to the end of this issue, you wind up seeing Deadpool reading his own comic book, which is funny. And he does all the narration in the book. So I thought that was pretty cool there, too. And he kind of makes this, you know, smart-ass comics like, like while he was away for a while and not doing the narration in the book, he's like, oh dude, I gotta take a deuce and stuff like that. So it's typical, that potty humor that Deadpool has. This was a good issue. I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm gonna give this one 3.25 out of 5 stars. It's nothing that's gonna like blow you out of the water, but it's your typical, you know, Deadpool stuff. So that one was okay too. If you guys have a top 5 in your comments, you guys can leave them below, or what your top comics were of the week, maybe what your favorite comic of the week was, or maybe your worst comic book of the week was. You guys can tell me that in the actual descriptions. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. So I think we're going on to number 11. And number 11 this week, guys, was Savage Dragon, issue number 204. But before we get into Savage Dragon, number 204, I'm going to see if I have some more comments in here before I get going into that one. So yeah, just getting used to navigating the show my own self here, guys. So give me 1 second to get new comments up to refresh. And again, I only have 3 viewers, but again, guys, thank you for watching. 6 comments now, so I appreciate that. And they're not up yet. So I have the same. I have to find a better way to get the comments up here besides my actual what's it called, Nook here, because that's usually how I get them up. So I'll try it one more time. Yep, just got the 3 right now. All right, so we'll continue before it refreshes. All right, so the next one again, guys, was Savage Dragon, issue 204. Excuse me. Savage Dragon's been crazy. There's been threesomes. There's been foursomes. Malcolm Dragon is the major character in this particular issue. He's taken over for Dragon, and he's been living on his own. He's been living on his own, and excuse me, I got a text. He's been living with his own. He's been experimenting with all these girlfriends. So he's been going with this girl here, which his name is Tara or whatnot. And then he's been going with his normal girlfriend, which her name is Maxine. And he's actually did like he has a Barry Allen and a type of Iris West relationship. And his actual stepsister, he had sex with her. So that was crazy. And we find out that his ex-girlfriend is pregnant. And we find out now that his stepsister is pregnant. So we find that out in the issue. Okay. And so really the story has been much involved in the actual book when it comes to the relationship of his stepsister, his ex-girlfriend, and his current girlfriend. And there's been lots of talk of Malcolm trying to actually, you know, do something besides what his dad has done in his life, whether it's be police chief, or he feels that he has to save the city. He's been getting professional guidance to see, like, you don't have to follow in your father's footsteps. You know, you can go on, do the things that you got to do. Don't feel obligated. And Malcolm does feel obligated. He feels that he has to do what his father does. Again, great artwork here by Eric Larson. He writes it, he draws it, and the story has really gotten involved when it comes to, again, the main characters here. There's good character development. Really enjoy this book. Lots of fun here. There's some good artwork, again, with like these splash pages, and it's a good story. I'm probably like the only person that reads freaking Savage Dragon these days. So honestly, it's like, If you do go out and read it, I suggest that you read it in trade. That's the best thing I can suggest for you guys, is read that one in trade. And I think you would like it. I think it's a good story. So again, I'm going to try bringing up some comments here and see what we can get. And so after reading this one, I'm going to give this one a 3.25 out of 5 stars. All right. So next, we're going to go on and we're going to talk about Battleworld Secret Wars Journal. Okay. This book here was pretty good. I like this one. I'm trying to get these comments up and they're loading real slow, so I apologize about that. So in this particular issue with Secret Wars Journal, the first story was really well done. I enjoyed this one because it takes place in Killville, and it has Padawan in there, or Padin. You get to see Craven in there. This is this version of the Rhino. You get to see this version of the actual Toad in there. I thought he was real well done. And there's this Craven coin, okay? And they're going after it. And I thought this was fun. And whoever gets this money, or Craven's money or whatever is will have so much money that they'll retire. And it was really badass. And I really liked it. And you get to see all these different people chasing each other after, for this particular coin. So in the beginning, you get to see Boom Boom, who has her Bombshell. She's the one that has it. Misty Knight and Paddlin are the ones that are working together, and they try to stop anybody that gets this coin. So they actually go into Craven's casino here, and as the issue progresses, they're just all fighting over this crazy ass coin. So there was fun artwork, good colors in this one, good paneling. And by the time you wind up getting to the end of this issue, you wind up seeing Tarantula, which was in here. So you get to see a lot of Spider-Man characters. And Tarantula I haven't seen in a long time, and he's got these spider tip boots. And I thought that was a lot of fun. And Paddlin is just like, he's just used as the human shield, and he comes completely paralyzed at the end of it. And what happens is Craven sits there and says, well, the coin is not what it's really all about. It's about the riches or the one payoff. He was like, if you want to, work for me, that's the great payoff. And she's like, hell no, I'm too cool for that. And she takes off with the case of money, and he's just holding, she's just being held on her shoulder. So I thought that was pretty awesome too. Really well done. Then the next story has to do with Daredevil and Elektra, and this was a weird story too, because the Daredevil story, he winds up trying to poison Mr. Sinister in here, and he winds up killing Elektra. And what happens is Daredevil is like the chef for Mr. Sinister, and he has this crazy it's like he has this Groundhog Day thing, and he winds up killing Elektra pretty much every day. And this is like the girl that he loves or whatnot, and they just reclone her over and over again, and he just winds up feeding her to him. It's just weird book, or weird part of the story. Interesting artwork. Can't make out faces too well, but overall it was okay. So yeah, really cool stuff here in this particular issue. All right, so that was that one. Next, we go on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 9. And I'm sorry about all the pauses. I'm getting all these texts right now and things like that. But this is like my test show. I've promised I will fine tune this. It even took me a while to get started. And I'm trying to get the comments up. So I'm trying to get a better way to get the comments up as well. Okay, so next is number 9. Again, I'm going to check for comments and see if I can get them up. And let's see. Noah Maynard says, my favorite comic this week was Weird World, man. Aaron is killing it. And that's funny because I know I talked about it earlier, and it was an interesting comic book. Maybe just not my particular style overall. But I mean, I'm not going to take away from it. I thought it was an okay book. Again, just not my favorite type of style of artwork and whatnot. Next one is from Spidey Sense 101. He goes, I enjoyed Harley Quinn number 17 this week. Still a funny book that it's been all along, but made some progress with more serious side of the story. I didn't pick up Starfire, but will be giving it a try if I can find it. Looks good, and some of my friends enjoyed it. We will be talking about Starfire very shortly on this particular countdown. Spidey, this was a good book in my opinion, and I agree with you. Harley Quinn was a good issue. I didn't read it physically. I read it digitally. Really loved the Harley gang of war thing as Harley's gang or whatever it was, that she puts together a whole bunch of Harleys and they're trying to save the city, and she tries to blackmail the mayor and whatnot. So it was really good elements there. Jimmy Palmiotti is really doing a very well job with that, along with Amanda Connor, and the artwork was really very well done too. We have Isaac James TV. He's like, yaha. And then we have CO397 who says live. And I think, let's see, the next one is Tim Martson says, the art for Mrs. Deadpool was beautiful. Was a fan of this title, hoping we get less Deadpool next issue too. All right, so we're going to go on now. We're going to move on. Thanks, guys, for your comments. Again, put as many comments as you can, as quick as they load. Hopefully they will load on here. But we're going to go on to number 9. Number 9 was The Walking Dead, issue number 142. This is low for me for The Walking Dead, but this was pretty much almost like a filler issue. Even though there's not much that happened in here, there's always something that makes some story progression within The Walking Dead. And within The Walking Dead this time around, we get to see maybe what could have been the ramifications of Maggie actually killing Gregory in this particular issue. But right away in the beginning of the issue, she makes it a thing saying, we don't kill here. This is a one-time deal. This guy tried to kill me, and we got to make sure that things stay the way we are. We're not killers. We're trying to promote human civilization. And so throughout this issue, it was a big monumental step because they were doing this fair. And the fair takes place out of the walls. So it takes place out of Alexandria. And this is a big deal for the characters and for civilization here, that they've cleared off enough space and feel safe enough that they can have a fair once a year. Another character in here, her name is Lydia. She's kind of been the love interest here with Carl. And Carl's went out from the group and searched for the Whisperers, which is the new group's name, and found his little girlfriend. And he's trying to convince her to go back to Alexandria, where Carl resides at right now. And what happens is he has conversation with Alpha, which is the leader of this group and the mother of Lydia. And she's like, I want to learn more about your people. So we get to see maybe some love interest with Maggie and some new guy ever since Glenn has passed away now. And you get to see everyone enjoy the fair and whatnot, and they're having a good time. And we find out that Rick finds out from Maggie for the first time that Carl is missing, and they haven't even gone looking for him. He's been gone for 2 days, and that was it. And so Rick throws a hissy fit. He starts yelling. They start getting a whole type of what's it called? Rescue mission going with Michonne and Andrea and whatnot. Really good artwork page here, like that. And now they're going to have to search for him. And in the meantime, somehow Alpha made it to her way to Rick's camp and is learning more about the people like she wished. So how did she get into camp? I'm not sure. So this wasn't a very exciting issue. However, it has some little things that are going to progress the story a little bit more, like where's Alpha going to fit in? How is she going to cause problems? Negan wasn't in this issue. What's going to happen with Carl and Lydia's relationship? What's going to happen with Rick and Maggie's relationship? You know, who knows what's going to go on there. But The Walking Dead's always a good book, and if you guys are still reading it, read it, because it is solid, or just read it in trade. So I'm going to give this one a 3.75 out of 5 stars. It was okay for me. All right. Next, we go on to number 8. And number 8 this week was Star Wars Canon, The Last Padawan. Really good issue. The best thing that's going for this book is its artwork and its coloring. I think it is phenomenal. And I think Greg Weisman is doing a great job here. Pepe Larraz is his name, and the colors is done by David Correll. When you flip through the book and you see the characters' facial expressions through here, I thought this is a really well done issue. I mean, look at this 2-page spread with the spaceships in here. Another cool thing is just the creature that kind of takes up canon. You know, he's in there, and I think his colors, and he looks like this lizard creature, is really well done. But in this particular issue, we last left off that Canon was heading back to Coruscant, and he gets surrounded by the Imperials. And he has to go ahead and he has to escape him. And he goes and escapes him, and he's driving, he's flying away, flies away, and he's getting shot. And he's flying, and then all of a sudden he has to go into hyperspace. So he winds up going into hyperspace, and he's like, dude, I don't know. What the hell? Where am I going to go? So he goes and he flies away, and he goes back to the place where he came from where he took the ship. And he goes back to Casimir, and that's the creature's name, Casimir. And he's just like, are you kidding me? He's like, you got no place to go, dude. He's like, why? He's like, you're going to come back here? And he's like, you didn't know where else to go, so of course you're going to come back here. Okay? And it's like, fine, you figured me out, okay? So what happens is he was looking for someone to hang out with. He was on his own for a while, and then he goes to rescue his old friend because there was a deal that was going bad. And then throughout the issue, Casimir sets up a new identity for him, something that's not so Jedi-like. He takes away the robe, he takes away the lightsaber, he gives him a pistol, he puts his hair back, and he throws him into this new type of suit. So it looked really cool, and they were doing missions together, and then the next thing he finds out is that he's going to get caught. This Casimir guy, he's going to get caught, and then what happens is he sells him out, and he goes, this is the Jedi, arrest him right here. And he's like, what? He's like, what the hell is going on? So Star Wars Canon, The Last Padawan is great. It's got good character elements in there, great artwork. I love like the father figure in here, but you're not really sure if he's true to him or not. So it's funny stuff in here. But great book. I really love this mini series. I think it's got 2 more issues to go. If you guys can't find issues 1 and 2, wait for the trade to come out. I think you'd really enjoy this one. So this one was really good, and it was number 8 on the list. All right, so let's find out if we have any more actual comments on here. I think I got a couple more. Hopefully they load. Let's see. Nothing new as of right now. So hopefully they'll load in a little bit, and I'll get back to you guys' comments shortly. Okay. Next we go on to number 7. And let me make sure we're on that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's right. 7, guys. Number 7 is Battle World. Marvel Zombies, issue number 1. This issue surprised me. I was really good. I really didn't know what to expect from Marvel Zombies. We all know that the Marvel Zombies in Secret Wars are contained within the Shield. And if you do bad things and break the law of all Lord God Doom, you get sent to this Shield and you get eaten by these Marvel Zombies or the Ultrons or the Annihilations or Annihilators, whatever it is. And in this issue, it focuses around the Marvel Zombies and Elsa Bloodstone. And Elsa Bloodstone is a person that has this stone around her neck. It's a choker, and it will destroy like vampires or supernatural like creatures. In instance, in this world, she will destroy all the zombies in Battle World from them overtaking the shield, climbing over the shield's walls, and taking over Battle World. So that's her job. And then in the beginning of the issue, you wind up seeing her interact with her soldiers. She's just this badass. She's no mercy. You see her just go to town on all these zombies, just kicking their ass. And she winds up getting transported outside the shield. Artwork is beautiful in this issue. Really liked it. Has good flashbacks in here of her witnessing when she was a little girl and her dad talking to her and how much of a hard ass he was to her. So you're really reliving her childhood and how she was treated and why she is the way she is now. You get really cool flashback scenes in here or not flashback scenes, zombie scenes in here with like a Dr. Octopus, and he's like zombie form, and he's like superior, you know. And I was like, oh, that's pretty funny shit right there. And she like blows him up. So that was awesome. And she comes across this little girl, and she has to make her way back to the shield because she was transported out of the shield. And what happens throughout this issue is the little girl is trying to talk to her and says, oh, we got to head south. We got to do this. We got to do that. And she's like, no. She's like, no. Stop crying. Stop doing this. Stop being this. Stop being that. Stop being annoying. And she just doesn't give the little girl a chance. And as you see this interaction between her and the little girl, again, you see those flashbacks of how she was treated and how her dad treated her. But that's the only way she knows because that was the way she was raised. And you get to see some other cool zombies in here, like a zombie juggernaut breaking through, and you get to see them do battle with her, and you get to see what the stone does to the zombie as well. And the little girl's all upset, and she's crying. And then what happens is Elsa realizes that the little girl was right all along. They can't go in the north the way that she wanted to go because they're just going to get annihilated by all these zombies or whatnot. So they're going to have to go the other way. And Elsa just tones it down a lot. And she's like, listen, she's just like, just calm down. We'll get along, you know, the way it is. So again, I thought there was good character interactions in this book. I really liked it. I did enjoy it for what it was. It surprised me. The artwork is really good. The artwork was done by Kev Walker, and I think he did the artwork for Avengers Arena, if you guys read that. So the artwork was phenomenal in this book. And if you haven't read Marvel Zombies, this is one I should try. You should try. This was 4 out of 5 stars for me. I really like this one. All right. So going forward now, we're going on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After number 6, before we get into the top 5, I will check and see what these comments are here. All right. So next we go on. And number 6 is just outside the top 5, and that was Batman issue number 41. That's right, guys. Batman number 41. This is the all-new Batman. Now, if you're a Batman fan, you might not be on board with this, okay? So that's why I kind of missed the top 5 for me, because this is not for everybody. I feel that if you're a true Bruce Wayne fan, you're going to miss your Batman here. But what the book did a good job with is that it describes how Commissioner Gordon is adapting to the new Iron, what's it called, Batman mech or Robo Bunny Batman or whatever it is. And you get to see him do battle against like his first major enemy, which is not a major enemy. It's like some Z-list character guy. And you get to see that happen throughout the issue. And as you see that, let's not take away from the artwork that Greg Capullo does. And from what you see, you get to see flashbacks while he's doing this battle. You see these flashbacks on how Commissioner Gordon really sets in here, on how he becomes the new Batman. You get to see how there originally was supposed to be other recruits to be in the mech. And then we get Miss Powers is the one that convinces Gordon to be in the mech. And he talks with Harvey on here, and he sits there and he's, you know, Harvey, you know, there's good dialogue with Harvey and Commissioner Gordon, and he sits there and says, you know what? He was like, you're 46 and you're a smoker. And, you know, he tries to talk him out of it. But there truly isn't anybody better that knows the city better than Gotham than Bruce Wayne himself is Commissioner Gordon. So it makes sense why he was the pick for the mech. So I thought the way they did it, the way they flashed back between Commissioner Gordon and his current battle, I thought was well done, and it made you go through the transition smoothly from Bruce Wayne to Commissioner Gordon. Now, if you're a fan of this story arc, that's a completely different thing. They add some humor in there where they can see that, you know, you changed the mech's colors, which I thought was funny. And then you get to see Commissioner Gordon just, you know, wrap up his first battle and whatnot. And by the time you get to the end of this issue, you get to see a little teaser where this man walks by that park bench that you saw in the beginning of the issue, and the man recognizes him and he goes, "Bruce Wayne?" So what does that mean? Okay, does it mean that, okay, this was just a teaser that you know that Bruce is not dead? Is it a guy that looks like Bruce? Or this is just this is the only time you're going to see Bruce for at least a year? Okay, you know, because we all know how Scott Snyder writes his books. It can take up to 6 months to a year for a story arc to conclude. So we could see Batmech in here for a whole entire year. So if you guys have any comments or any thoughts on this, let me know. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to get Bruce back probably with a year from now? Do you think you're going to see any more of Bruce in these issues? Or it's just, you know, or just a teaser? Again, leave me those comments and see. Hopefully they'll pop up in time. But that was number 6 this week. So let's see if we get a refresh on the comments here. And let's see, still says 11, and we'll bring it up, and it's loading. This is the one thing that's going to drive me crazy about doing the live show this way, is the comments taking forever to come up. Okay, let's see, 11. Tim Martin says, "You can just call me Tim, no need for the formalities." Yeah, that's funny. And I think that might have been it right now. Noah Minard says, "Yeah, it isn't for everyone. The artwork really drew me in, though. Are you reading Southern Bastards by Aaron?" No, I'm not reading Southern Bastards. I did hear a decent amount of, you know, good things about the series. I just never got into it. I don't know if they have a trade. Is there a trade out for it right now for a first volume or whatnot? Again, you can let me know in the comments below. If it doesn't show up by the time this show ends, I'm sure they'll pop up later afterwards. So, but yeah, all right. So we'll move forward, and we'll go on to number 5. Again, guys, keep leaving those comments below. I love doing the show this way. I just got to get the freaking comments to come up quicker, hopefully. So, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me. And hopefully as the weeks go on, I'll get more viewers. All right, next we'll go on to number 5. And number 5 was the book that we wanted to talk about, and that was Starfire, issue number 1. Again, this was done by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palometi. This book was cool. You know, if you don't have an idea of who Starfire is, well, I think they did a good job at introducing the character, where she came from, and it took 2 pages to do that. Artwork was beautiful in this book, by the way, too. This one was done by, Emanuela Lapacino. That was the artwork. But this is the artwork in the book. Starfire is absolutely gorgeous in this particular issue. The colors are nice. The story takes place in Key West, which is awesome because we don't see too many superheroes that take place in Florida. But recently we got Ant-Man there, and now we have Starfire in here. But we get to see a lot. And there is a lot of story in this book, guys. There's a lot of dialogue, a lot of different emotions that go through this particular issue, which I think is good because you have Starfire kind of, Corey going through all the emotions of a normal human being because she wants to fit in just like everybody else. Okay, and that's what she's trying to achieve there. And so she decides that she wants to reside over in Key West, and she talks to a sheriff, and she asks the sheriff for help. Hey, I want help. I want to be integrated in here. So she becomes a friend, and everyone's kind of infatuated. And the reason why she's in Key West is because she kind of feels like she should fit in there more. It's like she can fit in this tropical island because she's got this orange skin and she's beautiful, you know, and things like that. And she has to find a place to live, and the only currency she has is like these diamonds from her spaceship. And you get to see this book has little chapters, and you wind up seeing her trading in her jewels for some money. And Starfire is kind of like that bubbly, things go over her head type of character, which I love so much about her. And at the same time, every time I'm reading Starfire or Corey, I get to see her, I hear her voice from Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go, because I love her voice and the way she talks. But she goes through the motions. She gets money and she's happy. She learns about her friend's I guess, grandmother's death, and so she experienced sadness. She goes to a bar, and she's so hot that these guys start fighting over her. And as they're talking, you get to see them get in this crazy-ass bar fight. And it was just hysterical, and it was really, really well done. You get to see her go shopping. I mean, it's not your typical, hey, I'm going to defeat the bad guys type of book, but she goes shopping. You get to see her settle in. She resides in this mobile home park, which was funny. Right away, she kisses this guy to learn his language, because that's what Starfire does. In order to learn his particular language or their language, she kisses people. You know, and she has to have affection too. That's the way her breed is. And there's this background story about a hurricane coming or whatnot, and there's this funny shower scene in the book. So it was a very enjoyable issue. And again, the backstory had to deal with this hurricane or tropical storm. Good book. Definitely suggest it to you guys. If you were thinking about getting it, definitely get it. I think it was a good read. It's a lot of reading, but good story, because you get to experience everything that she's experiencing for the first time. So after reading this one, I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, guys. Really, really good book. All right. Let's see if I got any more comments in here. Just making sure I don't skip anyone's comments while I can do it. So I just got one more. Let's see. Okay, so Noah recommended Southern Bastards, and he says volume 1 and 2 are out, and he says he highly recommends it. So if any of you guys out there haven't read Southern Bastards and you might have been interested into it, go ahead and check that out, guys. Southern Bastards. All right, so thank you for that information, Noah. All right, next we're going to go on to our number 4. And our number 4 was a book that I thought almost could make number 1. Now, this could not be on anybody else's top 5 or number 4 or number 3 or number 1 or whatever it was. But for me, I had a lot of fun with this, because this really surprised me. And when a book can surprise me, entertain me like it did, that's when I really enjoyed it. And it was Ghost Racers issue number 1. This book was great. And it really introduced a cool little battle map here in the Secret Wars. And it has these Ghost Racers. And you have Robbie Reyes and Alejandro Blaze, Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, and Carter Slade. And you get to see like the whole arena, that Coliseum. The book is done by Felipe Smith, and the art is done by Juan Gideon. And we get to see everyone praise Robbie Reyes. They're all like, Robbie, Robbie. And everyone's getting ready, and they're starting their engines. It's like almost like a horse race. They get out in their little bays, and they're all numbered and whatnot. And Arcade is behind the whole thing. He's the one that gets everything going, and he's the one that has all these games that takes place on the capital of Doom, which is called like Doomistad. It's all the entertainment that everyone goes to on Battle World, and they all place their bets. And right away, you get to see this race erupt. Check out this art. It's pretty cool, man. 2-page spread in here. And you get to see this awesome race throughout the entire issue, which is a lot of fun. And you get to see this, you know, this one horse. He's like a Minotaur on there, Ghost Rider Minotaur. And he starts shooting up all the other freaking Ghost Riders, and it's awesome. And as the issue goes, you get to see each Ghost Racer just like lose control or lose the race, and everyone's cheering Robbie to win the race because he is the one that hasn't won yet. I mean, he's the one that's won every race and he hasn't lost yet. So everyone's buying for that #1 spot. And by the time you wind up getting to the end of this issue, you find out that he's undefeated, and everyone's pissed off at him because he hasn't lost. They're saying that his time will end. You get to see Robbie team up, go with his brother, and it's just a good issue because everyone idolizes this guy, and he hasn't lost. And it's just like, well, what happens when Robbie does lose? And what happens to the other racers at the end of the actual issue is that they kind of get tortured by Arcade, and they said, you have to do a better job. You have to improve upon yourself. And so they can create this loss for Robbie. Again, what happens to Robbie when he loses, I don't know, but it will expect the greatest payout for Arcade. So this was a good book. I really enjoyed it. The best thing about this book is while the race was actually happening in here, Arcade was the announcer. So it made it really feel like you were watching some kind of sporting event in this issue. And I thought that was very well done. I thought it was really fun. So if you guys are looking for like an action-packed type of issue, Ghost Racers #1 might be for you. I never even read the newest Ghost Racers series because I thought it'd be lame that Ghost Rider is riding a freaking car. I'm like, that's dumb. He's always ridden a motorcycle. Why is he going to ride a car? But this was good, and Robbie was a likable character here. So same thing. I give this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it a lot, guys. All right. So now we're going to go on to #3. #3 goes to the Ultimate End issue #2. Hulk fighting Hulk here, and that's exactly what happens in this issue. We find out that the two universes have collided. The two different universe 1610 and 610 or 1610 and 616 they've kind of combined together, and the heroes have meshed together, and now they got to go and they stop Doom. Thor's give them a warning not to mess with certain things, and Hawkeye kind of goes against that. And what happens in this issue? Yeah, that's what happens when you go against the Thors. You get torched. And it was freaking crazy, man. It was insane. And this book is written by Brian Michael Bendis, and the artwork is done by Mark Bagley. If you're a Bagley fan on art, you're going to love this book because the artwork is so well done. In this issue, you find out that the two Tonys wind up working together after going against each other in the beginning. One's the alcoholic and one's the normal one, but two great minds will think alike, and they'll come up with a way to solve this problem of what's going on with the Ultimate in the current universe. You get to see other great dialogue moments here between 616, or I'm sorry, normal. I'm getting the universes confused right now. So it's Peter Parker, okay, and then he goes, the Ultimate Universe is Aunt May and Gwen Stacy, and there's great dialogue between the two. And it was funny to see them interact throughout the issue. Punisher wants to escape out of jail. He's in jail. Next thing you find out is you see Ultimate freaking Gray Hulk going against, regular Hulk from Marvel Universe. And it was just insane having these two go against each other. And it was cool to see Nick Fury find out if Hulk broke into the actual prison or if he was tossed into the prison, because there was only one other creature that could do that. So really interesting stuff here. This was a good book to read. Ultimate Universe has always been a fun read. Will it go away? It seems like it will. I don't know if we're going to see it anymore, but maybe certain characters will still be there. But great artwork, great story. Really enjoyed this one. Could have been easily a pick of the week if it wasn't for these next two books. And I give this one 4.5 out of 5 stars as well. All right, so next we're going to go on, and we're going to go on to our top 2 books of the week. And #2 this week goes to Secret Wars 2099, issue #2. That's right, guys. This is another really well done book, in my opinion. I thought this book had a lot of this book has a lot of potential to be a future series after Secret Wars, because Peter David's putting together the whole 2099 world, and I think it's so well done. And the thing that we learn about this issue is we get to see that, again, this version of Captain America Her name is Roberta, and there was this assassin going after her. And the cool thing about this issue, or about her, is she doesn't know, like, when she transitions from Captain America to like normal civilian. And she has a recollection of that she has a secret identity, but it's just weird. She doesn't know when she changes back or whatever it is. It's just a weird thing. It's something that I've never seen done before. It's just like all of a sudden when danger happens, she automatically transforms into Captain America. Or when Miguel tells her to transform, she winds up changing. But she knows she has I guess, another version of herself. So really weird stuff in here. Artwork is interesting artwork. I like it. I like seeing the character developments in here. I want to see more of this Hawkeye version because he's like part bird, part man, and you get to see a little bit of this Black Widow's version in here too. And she like eats people. It's so weird. And you get to see Hercules in here too as well. And they're trying to go again. They try to go onto this mission, and what happens is when they go onto this mission, they come across the Defenders here, and the Defenders here first consist of this version of the Hulk, and he looks like almost some lizard-like creature. He's got these big teeth. He's got this long-ass hair. He's freaking bulked out. I mean, look at that. That's insane right there, right? He's intense. And he starts doing battle against Hercules and freaking tosses Hercules right out the freaking diner, the Latvian cuisine. And the next thing you wind up seeing by the time the end of this issue happens and the Hulk is in complete control, the whole Defenders team comes up, and you wind up seeing Hulk, the Silver Surfer, and Strange 2099 in here. Now, I know Strange 2099, we've seen her in the future, in the past before with Spider-Man 2099. She was in a couple of issues. I'm not sure if this is just Silver Surfer in general, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I like this story because I like the characters. The characters are really a mystery. We don't know too much about them. We don't know much about Iron Man, Hawkman, Hawkeye, or Black Widow here. We don't know too much about Roberta, about how she actually came to be. I would love to see origin stories here. This would be a great series for origin stories. I'm really hoping that this book becomes a regular ongoing series afterwards, because I could think Peter David could do a very good job with this. A very well done written book and great artwork here. So I give this one a 4.75 out of 5 stars. Okay, if you guys have any comments, please put them down now. We're going to go on to the next book, and that will be the #1 book of the week. And then I'll go over any other comments that you guys have before I sign off on this episode of the Countdown, episode number 103. All right, so next we have my #1 book, what might surprise you guys, and maybe some of you may not read all the time, but I definitely suggest you guys go out and read this. It's from Cinescope Entertainment, and this is Robin Hood, issue number 11. They have individual trades for this series before the ongoing came out. This is written by Patrick Shan, and Robin Hood is a great character. She's an archer. She is an Earth character. She went to the realm of Mist, saved the world, and got sent back to Earth. And now she's here with Marianne, just like from Robin Hood, and she's here to protect the Earth. She's opened up this private investigation business, and the business is, I'm trying to remember of the name, Nottingham Investigations, and they investigate all these supernatural things that's going on. What makes this issue good is because if you're a comic fan or a comic nerd or some kind of science geek or whatever it is, you're going to like this issue because it takes place in all that. So this issue here, it takes place that Robin, which is the blonde, and Marianne is the brunette, and they have to find this hammer. And it's hammer that this guy had that was cursed. It gave his family all bad luck, and he sold it. And he feels that it was the wrong thing to do by selling this hammer because he feels that everyone is going to be cursed. And so what happens is he hires the girls to find it. They're going to pay her a lot of money. And they go into this comic store, which was really cool. And you can find all these Easter eggs in here. You can find like all these little statues in here, which has like Incredible Hulks and different kind of like Pokemon in there you can see in the background. And Marianne was a great character. This, you know, her dialogue was great. She's like geeking out, having all these things. She's like, oh, look at these toys over here. Look at these toys over there. And in the background, you get to see like all like Marvel dolls. You get to see like Thanos statue, a Magneto statue, Hobgoblin statue. You get to see all these things. And as the reader here, you're sitting there going, oh, wow, that was freaking badass. That's really cool. Oh, there's Magneto and there's that. And it's really cool to see that in a Zenescope book, you know, because it's just fun to look for those things. And so the owner of the shop says, well, I had this hammer and I sold it. He's like, I sent it to New York Comic-Con. He goes, I'm going to send it there because the con is in a couple of days. And he goes, if you want it, you got to buy it over there. So right away, the girls are like, oh, cool. We're going to get to go to a Comic-Con, you know, and they get to this, you know, they get to see what's happening. They get to think about, oh, who can we be while we're at Comic-Con? So one was like Professor, which was Doctor Who, but I guess you can't say Doctor Who in this book. So it's called Professor Whom. It has cosplay ideas, Loki and Thor and Robin, which said was too meta because it has to do with her partner, and Chin Lee from Street Fighter, or Adventure Girl, you know, from Adventure Time. So it was really cool to see that set up. And then you get to see the creatures that are really after the hammer here. They're the ones that have to find it and bring it to the master, and they dress up. They don't have to dress up because they're going to a Comic-Con. So they're like these demon-like creatures in Comic-Con, and no one recognizes them as like demons because they all fit in with the rest of the crazy people that are at Comic-Cons. So you wind up seeing them at New York Comic-Con there, and you get to see all the other stuff. Like you get to see different booths, and there's this great marketing here on Zenescope's part where it comes to them advertising for their Charm series or the Little Mermaid series. And as you're reading through this issue, you get to see the demons trying to find their hammer, and you get to see Robin going through and trying to find the hammer as well. And we find out that the hammer was sold to a person dressed up as Slave Leia. And it was so awesome because then you go through the issue and you wind up there seeing that there was this Star Wars exhibit, and there's all these Leias in here. There's like 30 of them all dressed in the costume. And you had to find the right one in this particular issue. And again, you get to see all different people dressed up as stuff. You even see Patrick Shan, the writer, I think, drawn himself in here as well. And he's right there, which I thought was pretty awesome. You get to see from Phantasy Star, you get to see the big-ass sword being carried in here. So again, there's all these cool props. And they finally locate the sword, the hammer. They get the hammer, and they beat the shit out of these freaking these demon-like creatures. And I thought it was so funny. And again, this was a one-shot type of issue before it continues on with the continuity of the story. But it was a great read. It was a fun read. It was like that tribute to all the comic book fans out there for just something out there, whether you're a Pokemon fan, a Marvel fan, a Zenescope fan. And it's really cool to see them interact in a comic convention. And it's just something you don't see every day in comics. So this was the thing that really stood out to me, you know, this week. This was the memorable book. Now, I know I didn't read quite everything yet, but I would have probably made sure that this may have been still my #1 pick, because I want to let people know that Zenescope has some good books out there. Robin Hood is a standout book for me. And it's a fun read, entertaining read, very original. And, you know, when you get those memorable books that stand out, it's just like that's what separates, you know, the worst from the best. You know, when I read an issue like 1602 and I read it, I'm just like, what the hell am I reading? I was just like, it's just not a memorable issue for me. And I was just down by it. So there was your #1 pick for the week there, guys. Now I'm going to go over, see if there's any more comments before I sign off real quick. So let me see if I can go back here. But I appreciate you guys sticking with me today. It's been a lot of fun doing this. Sorry if it was a little rough in the beginning. I just got to find my footing in this whole thing to get the comments to come out more frequently. But again, I appreciate you guys sticking with it this particular week. And let's see if I have anything. Tim says that he has #5 Canon, #3 was okay, number 4 was Weird World. Number 3 was Spider-Gwen. Number 2, Captain America and the Mighty Avengers. And number 1 was Batman, number 41. So that was his top 5 on there. And Tim also says, thanks for the live show, Mike. I'll be posting it on Comics Amino. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yes. This was the first time that the countdown was going live this time around. So again, there was a lot of bugs. I got to fine tune things. It even took me a while to get it going on on Google Plus. But now it's there. I know how to do it. And like I said, guys, I'll fine tune everything as we go, as the shows go along, because this will be the normal show going forward. The countdown will be live, and hopefully you guys will get more familiar with that, so you guys can catch me live, especially during the summer. Some of you may not have school, some of you may be off from your jobs, and I can get more interaction, and it'll make it not such a grinding show. I can answer questions, and you guys can answer questions to me, and we'll have a lot of fun with this. I think this can be very successful. So guys, here it is. Here's the ending. So guys, you've seen the worst, you've seen the best, and you've seen all the other crap in between. So guys, as always, in those comments below, if you haven't yet, tell me what your favorite book of the week was, what your worst comic book of the week was, and all that other stuff in between. And fans, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. This has been the Countdown, episode number 103 live. Take care, fans. See you real soon. Bye.